All right, just in
Okay,
preparation.
okay, came up something here. This content is being, this meeting is being sent to one or more apps.
Okay, that's it. Well, that is being broadcast.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. This is Sam Tolbert, and I am representing until our host gets his situation in place. The BCMU, Black Church Musicians Union. Now, we're a group of musicians who have dedicated our lives to the church and church ministries, who now, at this stage in our evolution of time, are looking to assist musicians, not just those that are Black, but those that are of any nationality or any denomination that is embarking on this journey. And that's what it is. It's an actual journey of music and ministry support. We're certainly glad to have our host who's working on his system and my brother Virgis Talbot, who is the elder of my tribe. Certainly glad to have you. Virgis, say hi to those who are watching.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Sam. As my younger brother, who I most everything I learned in music, I got from him. Um, I'm glad for anyone that comes and join in on our session. We have a lot to share, and I'm sure if any questions you have, we'll be more than happy to receive them and answer them. Like my brother says, we have over a century of music information from the early 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, all the way up until now that can be discussed and looked at for the value and for the longevity of it. Um, we enjoy anyone to drop if you can't show up yourself, drop your questions. Leave a comment on your likes and dislikes. We appreciate both of them, and we're glad to help you in any way possible we can.
All right, I'll see our host, Reverend Blair, is still having technical challenges there. Perhaps you need to have his AI look at his system.
That
What can I
that'll
say?
that'll be the next thing. You'll get a call from a tech.
And speaking about AI, I have now started conversations with Chat GPT, and I am being shocked every time I bring up a new question. It actually goes back to my old question and includes something that I said weeks ago in my process. If those that are not aware, while we're waiting on Reverend Blair to get set up, I'm using AI to help me design my music programs that I'm using on the internet, and it helps me to design merchandise to put through my merchandising sessions. And when I said I want to do something off the wall, like make music to help puppies go to sleep, it gave me a whole worksheet of what kind of chords I should have, what kind of tones I should have, how to put together merchandise to be able to sell it to those online. And I'm just being shocked at how intuitive these, and it is called artificial intelligence, how I'm having a conversation. I even just uploaded my latest song that I wrote, and because I wanted to see if it could critique it, and it told me all the things about the music, and it was it. In fact, let me just again, we got a little time here. Let me just share what it said when I popped it up. It said, uh, okay, it brought up the waveform. It says strong entry points, balanced dynamics, pacing, cinematic build. I'm like, what? And it showed me what the music looked like. And it says it was impressed that I had a build that started low and it built up to a loud sound. It lets me know the pacing of the song, how it was constructed. And all I did was it allows me to send the audio file up. And I said, critique it. Tell me what you hear. And it gave me some things that I could possibly do to make it sound better. And it even says,
It did.
do you
It
want
sounded
want
good.
choir parts? Vamp? You want an outro? Lyrics, more lyrics? I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't ask for all that, but the conversation is the conversation that is being had. So I realize there are some that are still thinking Terminator. Well, we're not there yet, but it is a tool.
It's going that way though.
Well, again, and that actually could play a big part in our conversation for the evening in reference to vetting uh, up and coming staff for the music experience in different churches, whether it be a storefront or whether it be a cathedral. I think the AI could probably play a big part based on the information and what that church needs, could probably help put together a program for the music department that would build. Because I agree. One thing, a comment that I saw earlier from Pergamon, that he made, that I said is very true. Not one man can build your music department. And that makes good sense. I've tried it down through the years, and I failed trying to do it by myself. The S didn't last long on my chest, so I learned that trying to be the Wonder Woman's Superman, no, it don't work. That only works on Saturday morning cartoons. You have to, as a musician, musical director, in the pastoral staff, you cannot be an island when there's other people on there with you alone. You have to incorporate, I say, other talent that can help enhance and
have assistance.
yeah, able to give assistance and have a workable personality to help not build your vision, but build the community vision for that particular music department or church. I think that would be very important. And again, I can see AI giving some helpful hints if the clergymen or the church don't know what is it do we need for our church side, whether it be 250 or 2,500. What do I need? And as far as sound concerned, how should my sound be set up? How do I set up the acoustics for the speakers? Those things. Those things are real important. I think that the music that we can learn again from the AI, which could help with building a workable, long-lasting staff. I think that's real important when it comes to putting together. I call it dream team for the music department, a dream team for the minister staff.
I'm actually asking Chat GPT right now. That's that same question.
Because since we live in another world, this is not, and I have to realize that this is not the 60s, this is not the 70s, this is not the 80s. This is not even 2000. This is not even 2010. Things have changed just that much in the area of church community, of the area of music in churches, and you have to build your community as far as your church is concerned based on what you're working with. And of course, one last word, money. You got to know what your budget is.
Minister David Brock, we want to welcome you. Reverend Blair is having some technical issues, so I am in charge. So we're so glad to have you come and be a part with us right now. We're pretty much talking over the question that was posted on Facebook Messenger to the group about a church's, how would they go about? In fact, let me go read it correctly so that I don't misword it.
Okay.
Okay. What qualifications for the ideal pastor and minister? Okay, this is going to deal with just the musician. Okay, what is the difference between a wish list for a pastor? Okay, that's my brother's response. Let me go back. Okay, let's role play as a search committee and create a wish list for a pastor and also a wish list for a minister, a music director, or minister of music.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. A wish list. Okay. Um, okay, let's start with the pastor because it has to start with the pastor because it's like me. When I would go to a convention, take classes, and bring back information, and I would present that what I've learned to the pastor. Um, in terms of the wish list for the pastor, first of all, he has to know, and this is very new. I wouldn't say very new, but this is new to me as far as that's concerned. But I don't mind, dealing with the best way that I can. What can be put in that wish list for the pastor is what he expects out of the music department because I used to belong to this coalition in Chicago. And I told the pastor, I said, a lot of these pastors do not know what to expect. And I think within that wish list, there should be some things that he expect for the music department to do um, when it comes to like the choirs. Well, let's just start with the church. The church, and I'm going to say it, and a lot of people would probably think, well, we don't have that. I'm just going by the word, but Colossians 3:16. First of all, they need to know the hymns. And he should know his hymns, not so much of the music department learning, but as far as the hymns and what to expect out of the music department in general. Um,
Okay. I just want to say welcome to Minister Boyd for coming in on. I don't want to leave you out when I
No,
acknowledge
no
you
problem.
coming into the room.
Yeah, I was
Now
just
I have
listening on the
something.
sideline.
Yeah. Now I have something that I just pulled up
Yeah.
from Chat GPT. If you'd like to see what Chat GPT says. So as my brother was saying, sometimes if you don't know what to say, you need to go find some information that'll give you something to look forward to, or to at least question your mind. Let me see if I can pull this up. Is that it? Come on, share the page. All right, so that's Chat GPT's response. Can you see that?
EPT, what is that? What does that stand for?
Chat GPT is a designated name for a artificial intelligence system that people have access to right now for free to be able to pose questions to, and it will respond to you if though it was human.
Okay. But GPT, are those abbreviations that stand for something? I
That's
mean,
the name they gave Chat GPT. It's like chat, like talking with a system. I'd have to ask it what Chat GPT stands for, but that is the name given to it. But do you see
okay,
the information there? Wish list for Minister of Music. Can you see that clear?
I see it.
This is what it came up with.
Saved, spirit filled, and understands that music is ministry, not performance. Amen. Can lead worship in a way that invites the presence of God, models humility, and encourage spiritual growth in their team. Music ability. Yes. Oh, yeah. I like this. No, I wouldn't
This
say I
came
like
up
that,
in
but
less this came up in less than a second of my asking the same question that was posted by Reverend Blair on Facebook.
I love this. And see, I remember myself and Burgess was talking about, it's about getting into the word. Um, every person, um, um, like musicians, choir members, minister of music. We already know that the pastor's in the word, but I'm just saying. But you're talking about right now a wish list for the pastor. Is that what you're
If if
saying?
if you had a church and you were on the committee and you wanted to put together a list of what we should be looking for for a musician or what they call a minister of music
Okay.
or
Okay.
a minister of music slash music director. Reverend Blair wanted us to make believe we were on that committee. What would we ask for?
I love what I saw there. What I saw within that white sheet. That's wonderful, and not so much. I like it where it says it's all about ministry and not just performance. Amen. As far as that's concerned, I love that. Let me look over here. Yeah.
But
First of
unfortunate, today's ministries, today's service is a performance.
today,
The services, well, in the churches I look at on Facebook and on YouTube, they've got spotlights, they got the full band, they've got people dancing around. That's a performance.
and it's not about first on a priority to be a performance. You know, I did my performance way back when I was in talent shows and things like that. But it runs out. It's about being in the word. You know,
Well,
being
I think we're trying to put a bad name on the word itself, performance, and performance is not a bad word.
it's not. No,
It,
it's not.
it's what you do, but it's all about how you do it, who your
Mhm.
purpose in doing it, who are you performing before? Are you performing or giving your talent to the secular world and the circular world receives the glory, or are you giving your talent or performing before the Lord? And so the Lord receives the glory and talent and
Exactly.
praise for that. So we have to make sure that when we use that term performance, it's used on in an area where your talents and gifts and abilities is going towards giving God praise. That's one of the things in doing the Black Music Month, I tried to share. We have such a rich heritage in Black music in the church that if it wasn't any good, people wouldn't be trying to copy it. And they do a good
Mhm.
job in copying it. So we need to we take that under consideration before we decide to say, well, we need to move on. Well, I don't, and I try to explain to people, why should I move on? People that play jazz don't move on. People that play classicals don't move on. People that do other styles of music, they don't move on and forget
No.
about what they have learned and what they have received. Why should we say it's the hymns are no longer necessary. The anthems are no longer necessary. The traditional gospel is no longer necessary. No, it does play a part because it helps us to remember what we have and so that those that come behind us can see where we started. We just didn't come out of a cabbage patch with our music.
Right. Exactly.
It came from somewhere. People worked, blood, sweat, and tears went into that style of music that a lot of people, a lot of us that say those that are born after 2000 will never know, nor can they appreciate. So a lot of time when they hear a song and all of a sudden they want to act like this came off the top of my head. No, and I have to tell them, no, you heard that song when you was a baby because that song came out at 1984, 1996. I
Hmm.
say, while you was still bouncing on somebody's lap, I was there when that song came out. And people, they say, oh, I didn't, yes, that's you're going by your memory. You remember that
Well,
song as a child.
no, you have people going crazy over the chorus of "There Is No Way." There's a lot more to that song, but they only sing the part that gets everybody all excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
I dare to say, even Verge, you really hit it on the head right there when you
Yeah, you
said
hit the nail
performance
on the
is
head.
it's not a bad word. As a matter of fact, when we get our performance review at our different areas of careers or work and things like that, that means a pay increase. And quite honestly, you should be performing at a certain level. And I dare to say, I'm putting it out there, is that you should not be at a church for multiple years and growing in your gift and not growing financially. Meaning that ministry should be giving you performance reviews, making sure you're in line with the vision of the house, and making sure that the music and is right, as well as growing, as well as the choir should be growing. If you don't have a choir, it would be nice if that's a part of the vision of the ministry to have one. It would be great to have one, and that see the work that's going in towards putting that together. But I will say performance is not a bad word. But
No.
I will say a lot of it has been taking it out of context, meaning
Yes.
a lot of church, or I'll say buildings, not churches, because there's a lot of buildings that don't have God in it, but they want to act as if they have God in it, and they want to put a 501(c) on it.
Exactly.
And and a lot of times they try to get connected with the younger people by turning the lights out, turning them low, and this and that, and this and that. And I'm like, okay, I understand that from a performance perspective and maybe even a lighting perspective, because if you're doing online streaming and different things like that, you have different lights set up. I can understand it may be a little dim in some areas versus the stage, but a lot more has been put into the setup of the stage than they do the actual musicians. They pay more for the LED screens than they pay their musicians
Can
in
you
a
guys?
whole year. I'm sorry. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great, great, great. Sorry about that. Thank you,
No,
Sam.
that's okay.
Wow.
But
since you said that,
yes.
should there be a stage in the church?
So it really depends on the building layout. The building layout should dictate that. Meaning, if you have someone speaking, then whoever is speaking should be a little bit elevated, height wise, so that people can have their focus and their attention on that person. Now, should it be a 10-foot stage and this and that? It is what it is. But I'll say this: churches need to become a universal. I want to say like a universal space to use, meaning sorry, it's a little sunny out here. Meaning that if you're gonna have a concert, it should look like a concert and not church, and that's okay. If you're gonna have church, let it look like what we know the church to look like, and different things like that. I think that is okay, because quite honestly, in the world today, right now, people are looking for what they remember. They're looking for what they remember, and a lot of churches got it wrong, thinking that churches, that they're looking for something new. They're looking for the same Jesus, just maybe in a different building or something along them lines, because Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He's not changing. But
No.
the church is the only one that seems to change to fit other people's liking, I'll say.
Their
Can I?
needs.
Yeah. Can I just piggyback on that? Because when you said stage, see, I think maybe we're thinking two different things. Because when I think stage, I think show, I think production, I think plays, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think stages belong in churches. I think altars belong in churches, and you can do a lot of stuff from the altar.
Okay.
Again, you have to be very careful. But
Right.
that stage just kind of, I don't know. I think of what's going on now, and this is what you just said. We got these places now that's got the lights and the smoke machines, and $1 million sound systems, and
Come on.
whole back stage, the whole back wall is one
Yep.
big screen, and
Yep.
I get that. I understand, because from when I was growing up, my uncle and taught me to fish. He says, well, you got your favorite bait, but if the fish ain't biting,
Right.
maybe you need to change
Right.
the bait. So I understand us wanting to be more modern, but
Right.
I just have a problem when we get to be in shows. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, I dare to say
now
we had
on worship. I think
I'm
it's
sorry.
on how glitzy the show is.
Right. Yep. And I'm actually going to start a movement. There was a time where people were like faith over fear, and they saw a bunch of T-shirts. Well, I'm gonna start a movement called oil over vibe,
Okay.
because anybody can vibe, any type of music can vibe, but when you add oil on it, there's something
There you
different.
go. There
There's
you
something
go.
different.
The oil as in the anointing, right?
That's right. Oh, absolutely. That's exactly where I'm going with it, because only what you do for Christ will last. But I will say, there's a lot of artists that are going overboard. When I dare to say overboard. If I was to play something, and that's just right? If I was to play something in church or do an intro that maybe I got the idea from a secular song or so, if I was to do that, I would be very careful of how I do it and what I do, because of the content of the song, right?
Right there,
And
right
so
there.
a lot of times, I won't call the artist name. I'll be good. All right. I almost said it.
I
I'll be
will
real
when you
good.
get through.
But there was a song talking about a boy, I guess, falling in love with an extremely older woman or so, and it's it's a song basically, talking in sexual nature, and this person decided to actually put the whole entire song in worship service, and so people are nodding their head and bouncing their head, and I mean, if I wasn't saved, that would sound hot. But because I have the unction of the Holy Spirit and I understand what's going on, that's something different. And so I dare to say a lot of churches are vibing, but a lot of people are not changing. And that's what the church is meant for, is for change, not so much for just vibing and getting the vibe. People are dying out here. People are struggling out here. And we need the church to stop being a punk. And I said that and I say it again. I need the church to stop being a punk and rise up and stand up for the God that they say that they serve. Period.
See, the reason why I'm saying, you said you won't name certain names. I've seen some people that desire to be examples. They were, I'll say the Clark sisters. They took a song. It was hard to, for the